sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
All right, we are just days away from a fun weekend full of a ton of events and, of course, racing over at Darlington Raceway. In order to get us ready for all the action, I took a trip to Darlington, South Carolina earlier this month, and here's more on the history of the iconic raceway that runs decades back. Inside the Stock Car Museum at Darlington Raceway, you'll find a variety of different pieces of history along with different faces that all tell a story.
The fact that the racetrack has been around for so long goes a long ways in us being able to tell the story of the importance that this track has on this state. Darlington, a melting pot of numerous eras of racing that points directly to a unique beginning. The story of how this track was built is amazing.
Darlington Raceway, pushing the sport to another level.
An amazing story, to say the least. And there's one individual that knows how Darlington Raceway even became a reality.
Harold Brasington. My grandfather was Harold Brasington Sr., builder of Darlington Raceway.
Harold Brasington's desire and innovation led to stock car racing's first superspeedway.
Brasington III and others that knew him described Brasington Sr. as a visionary, a man with a plan.
It was inspired by a visit when he was a young fella to Indianapolis in 1933. His father took him on a trip to see that race, and when he saw those open wheel cars racing at those speeds, he thought, you know, this is something that we could do back in my home state of South Carolina. And, you know, it took a long time from 1933 to 1950, but, you know, he kept that dream going and eventually broke ground here in Darlington.
Years later, his grandson looks upon all the history scattered across the Stock Car Museum with a sense of pride.
Although my family's had no connection to the track since 1953, it's all ancient history to me, that we get to come back to this racetrack and see what Granddad accomplished, and that his name is on a grandstand, and that people in NASCAR still think that's important to remember our legends. I just think that's phenomenal about this sport.
In more than one way, one man's vision annually making a massive impact for the state of South Carolina.
The community has embraced this racetrack. I think they realize the importance that this racetrack has. Not only on the quality of life here, but on the economic impact. I mean, with 2 races now on our schedule, the annual economic impact for our racetrack in this state is about $112 million.
It was a huge gamble when he introduced the idea to some local businessmen here in Darlington. A lot of them were skeptical, and there was some pushback in the community, but he had a dream, and he had enough people that believed in him and got behind him that these men pulled together and pulled off a really impossible task.
A dream that may have been unrealistic to some, now having a major impact on the world of racing. I love that there, the visionary Harold Brasington Sr. turning his dreams into reality. We're going to bring you coverage from Darlington starting on Friday through Sunday's race. We'll be back with more news and weather after this quick timeout.